Honor Among Thieves, the new D&D movie starring Chris Pine, is launching at the end of the month here, and along with it we are getting lots and lots of merch, including this black dragon, Rakor, in this strangely thin box. Now this is very clearly a toy based on the pictures on the back and the age label of 4+ on the front, but you know what? Aren't all the minis that we play with toys? And I am always looking for more affordable ways of enhancing our games, and if it means stealing toys away from 4-year-olds, then by the gods, that's what I'm gonna do. So let's get Rakor out of the box and see how he looks next to our WizKids dragons. Before we jump in, if you're looking for more adventures to tell at your 5e table, check out the upcoming Kickstarter by our sponsor Hit Point Press. The Big Book of Big Bads features 25 bosses to throw at your adventuring party, each one with a full backstory, minions, stat blocks, items, layers, story hooks, and more. You can also pick up Creatures and Curios, a book of more than 100 new monsters and magic items to enhance your games. Sign up now using our link in the eye in the corner of your screen to be notified when they launch on Kickstarter very soon here. That is the Big Bads from Hit Point Press. Now this is not a typical WizKids mini. WizKids had nothing to do with this one. This is a Hasbro toy with points of articulation on its legs and neck. It has more of that rubbery feel of a toy as well. I'll put it next to our other dragon minis here shortly. Rakor is a black dragon that was created for the movie. It's said that he once roamed the swampy Evermoors. He and a cult of the dragon army fought an Earthguard elk tribe for control of a relic known as the Helmet of Disjunction during the so-called Battle of the Evermoors around the year 1400 DR, so about 100 years before current events. There's a brief scene of Rakor in this battle from the first Honor Among Thieves trailer. I told you it was brief. Taking a closer look at our Rakor here, you can see that for the most part it is just painted black. No shading, no highlights, just a basic black coating across the whole thing. It does have some gray along his throat and chest and painted horns, mouth, and eyes. So it's very basic as you'd probably expect, though I think the wings and the fins kind of make it for me. They're painted with a nice green gradation that's as nice as most of our larger pre-painted minis. The wings and fins are not translucent, by the way. I know that it's sometimes hard to tell in these videos. If you did use this mini at your table, I think it would benefit from a room with dim lighting to hide some of its inherent flaws. So let's take a look at those legs, which allow you to do some interesting things with your dragon. The front legs have a roughly 100 degrees of possible movement, and the back legs are closer to 30 degrees. This lets you put it in some interesting poses, but most of them are kind of cute cat or dog-like poses, such as having it bow or wave a claw at you or sit down even, which isn't exactly what you'd expect from a vicious black dragon. The wings, which are detachable, also have about 90 degrees of movement, so you can possibly adjust them depending on if the dragon is flying or grounded, but if you try to rotate them beyond that, they will detach. It is easy enough to slot them back in though. The head also has some movement it can do. It can rotate back and forth about 20 degrees, which is fine and nice. You can have it possibly look at the person it's targeting, but the best part is that you can open and close its mouth, and you can even place an unfortunate mini inside if you want, for your dragon to grab someone and take off with them. When we put it next to our other adult dragons, it's actually larger than they are, more akin to an ancient dragon perhaps. It's about 11.5 inches tall, or 29 centimeters, and it's about 18 inches long, or 45 centimeters. It's definitely not the same as our regular minis, but depending on your tastes, and of course all of this is subjective, I wouldn't be opposed to using this guy alongside my other dragon minis on my table. It doesn't have a dramatic pose, and yes, it rather looks like a toy, but it's still a giant dragon that's roughly the right scale, and that's probably going to end up being significantly cheaper than our other similarly sized dragon minis. You can pick this one up for less than 35 bucks in some places right now, and you're just not going to beat that. You probably noted the current prices of those other dragons a moment ago. They're more than twice as expensive, so I say put your ego aside and consider adding this fella to your collection, especially if your budget is tighter. And I wouldn't be terribly surprised if the price of this goes down several weeks after the movie comes out if they ended up producing a good number of these, though it's hard for me to say for sure. Ultimately, hey, it's another option for a great big dragon for our table, and when you're not playing with it, you can hand it off to your 4-year-old for safekeeping. Rakor is available now for between $35 and $60. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on it, so please leave those for me down below. We'll have more coverage of the Honor Among Thieves and its merch over the next few weeks, so be sure that you're subscribed to see all that. I don't know, I'm looking forward to seeing the movie next week. I know a lot of folks are still upset after the OGL fiasco earlier this year, so they're gonna skip it, but what do you plan to do? If you're looking for new adventures, monsters, and items for your games, don't miss out on the Big Bad's Kickstarter going on now. It's launched like a rocket, and they're already unlocking quite a few new stretch goals. Check it out at the link in the eye up there or down below. You can find our Kobold plushies in our newly revamped web store over at koboldplush.com, and you can follow along with us on JibJab, TalkFace, MyTick, and AOL Instant Messenger. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.